Tomorrow is the National Missing and Murdered Native Women and Girls Day. But today, Representative Dan Newhouse met with Yakima Nation tribal police officers and MMIW advocates to talk about new efforts by the federal government to help address this crisis. KV's Emily Goodell reports.
For a long time, Indigenous people and particularly women and children in our communities were invisible to the greater public and to law enforcement. And so when they were experiencing issues like domestic violence or go missing, it was often hard to get attention on these cases. And without that attention, we couldn't solve them.
Federal officials say thanks to the persistence of families of missing and murdered Indigenous women, they've been able to raise awareness and make things a little bit better with new laws. But more work is needed. According to Washington State Patrol, at least 34 Indigenous people are missing out of Yakima County.
A priority of mine to bring a missing and murdered Indigenous women's unit to Central Washington. Unfortunately, we are the epicenter of this issue in the Pacific Northwest.
In December, Newhouse met with Assistant Secretary for Indian Affairs Brian Newland about that potential task force. Today, he brought him to the Yakima Reservation to hear about the issues firsthand.
This is a crisis in many tribal communities, that the most vulnerable people in our communities are being subjected to violence.
They spoke with Yakima Nation tribal police about the issues they're facing, including understaffing.
I've got some legislation to address their ability to hire and retain law enforcement officers.
They also heard testimony from people whose loved ones have been murdered or have still yet to be found. All information, they say, will help them take those next steps.
The thing that I don't want to have happen is the momentum be lost.
In Toppenish, Emily Goodell, KVU Local News.